It's kind of hard to believe, but it is time to talk about the astrology of February. So welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you're new, my name is Lisa Merrifield. I'm with Trails Edge Astrology, and my goal on this channel is really to give grounded and practical astrological advice so that you can make the decisions you need to make and have the information you need to have. All right, so let's dive in and talk about February and what's coming. Now, just to back up, the end of January has been really interesting, and there's a lot of contentious energy, particularly around the 20th, around the U.S. inauguration, and I think, that we've really just kind of seen that play out in terms of, just bravado and overstepping and all of the things. And so, so I'm curious to see how February rolls out for us, if that kind of contentious energy continues, or if it calms down a little bit, and then how that all comes together. So just to give you an overview of what I think the month's going to look like, the snapshot, if you only have a few minutes, I think the beginning of the month has the potential to be really dreamy and really beautiful in terms of energy. There's a lot of imaginative, creative, healing kinds of transits heading our way. The shadow side of those of that dreamy romantic energy is that sometimes we can be gullible, or we can we can just assume things are going to work out in a way that might not be realistic. So it's one of those things where if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. But that's the beginning of the month. Particularly the weekend of the 1st is just really romantic and dreamy and nice. If you want a date night, this is a good weekend to do it. We get to the middle of the month, and I think we have the potential to have some aha moments, to see some things we haven't seen before. Might be surprising, hard to say, but we might have some like revelation kinds of energy around the middle of the month. And then the end of the month may have some push and pull kinds of tensions. It might be frustrating. There might be some roadblocks. But then again, there might be some loosening up of things. We have some energy changing around the end of the month that that just has the potential to, we'll see how it turns out, but has the potential to kind of drill down into sensitive points that we've been going over the last couple of months. So let's dive in and let's talk specific dates. So if you want dates for your calendar and what the transits are, let's get into that now. All right, so February 1st is our first big transit, and on that day, Venus will meet Neptune and the North Node. And that's that really dreamy, romantic, good for a date night kind of energy. It's imaginative and healing and soothing and beautiful and luxurious. And so I hope you use it for that. I hope you take this first weekend in February and really just make it beautiful. The flip side, as I mentioned at the beginning, is that this kind of energy can make us gullible. It can make us want to believe things that may not be practical or may not be good for us. So keep that in mind and make sure that that you just truth test anything you're about to go into at the beginning of the month. But overall, really gorgeous energy, and I hope that it plays out that way for all of us. The next big transit I want to talk about is on February 7th, and on February 7th, Neptune will meet the North Node. So Venus meets Neptune and then the North Node, and then on February 7th, I think the North Node meets Neptune. But again, that's that continuation of that really dreamy, imaginative, healing potential. But continue that whole first week of February. Step into that really lovely, abundant, creative energy, and know where you're inclined towards escapism. Know where you're inclined to maybe be gullible or to believe things you want to be true. So just keep that in check that first week. Then we get to February 9th, and on February 9th, Mercury meets the Sun. So Mercury has 2 meetings with the sun per cycle. The first meeting is, well, I don't know that there's a first or a second, but there's a meeting when Mercury is retrograde. Whenever Mercury retrograde, it meets the sun. But that's not what we're doing. Mercury is direct right now. So we're having Mercury meeting the sun from the other side of the sun. So Mercury is as far away from us right now as it can be. And when that happens, it's sort of like a full moon for Mercury. So there is some kind of, or there's the potential for some kind of revelation or some kind of illumination, some kind of aha moment. And I'm just looking at my notes. Sorry about that. Yeah, so some kind of aha moment, some kind of illumination. So that's February 9th. Then February 10th, 11th, and 12th, we have more of that kind of aha revelatory energy. So on the 10th, Mercury will square Uranus, and then the sun will square Uranus, and then we have a full moon in Leo. So just lots of energy around seeing things for what they are, or if you've got something you're ready to surprise people with or come out in the world with, like that might be a good time to do it. So I really feel like, particularly between probably the 7th or 8th and maybe the 13th or 14th, that we just have the potential to see some things in a new way or to reveal ourselves in a new way. So look for that, work with it in whatever ways is appropriate. Might be surprising. It might be things that you didn't see coming. So, of course, be sure to take care of yourself. All right, then we get to the 20th for the next transit that I want to note, and that is Mercury squaring Jupiter. So lots of mercurial activity around this middle part of the month. Mercury-Jupiter squares can bring arrogance, can bring lots of conversation and lots of ideas quickly. The rub with like a Mercury-Jupiter square or any kind of Mercury-Jupiter interactions is that sometimes the things we say are too good to be true, or we overpromise, or we just put ideas out there that are a little bigger than they need to be. So take care in your own life, and take care as we listen to the news and as we see what's going on in the world, to know that around the 20th, maybe the 18th through the 23rd, there might be some big ideas that come out that are that are just beyond what can be promised. Big words, but promising more than they can deliver. So just keep that in mind around that time period. Particularly if we've had some kind of revelations or aha moments earlier in the month, and then we get to the 20th and there's more bravado and more hubris and more like big talking. Just keep in mind that it may be actual, it may come to pass, and it may not. All right, then we get to February 23rd, and Mars stations to go direct on that day. So Mars has been retrograde since December, so we have been working on something, revising how we take action since the middle of December on our Leo house and our Cancer house. So Leo, how we shine our light in the world; Cancer, how we find security, home, family, protection. So right now, Mars is in Cancer. It's going to station in Cancer, and it's going to drill down on those Cancerian points. And that Cancerian part in your chart, and anything connected, I think it stations at 17 degrees. Let me make sure. Yeah, it stations at 17 degrees of Cancer. So any planets in your chart around 17 degrees are going to have some impact with that Mars station. So, all of retrogrades can be frustrating. We can't get traction. We can't move forward. We're asked to rethink, is this really how you want to do something? But when any planet stations, it just pushes down and highlights that part of the journey. So it could be interesting, could be frustrating, could also be illuminating. Maybe you finally put the pieces together for how to move forward, and that as Mars starts to move forward, which will be slow, you'll start to be able to roll out whatever this plan is and live into however it is that you want to engage with the energy that's coming our way. So that's the 23rd. On the 27th, we have a new moon in Pisces, and again, that Piscean energy is what's going to start the beginning of the month. It's that creative, dreamy, healing, connection to the cosmic consciousness, that kind of energy. So, so I hope it's a cathartic new moon. I hope it's a healing new moon. It has nice aspects to it, so I expect that if we are willing to work with that energy, it will be soothing, it will be a balm. Now, Pisces energy is not necessarily energy to, you know, get up and go, but definitely energy to like sit in places of calm and receptivity and all that. And so that's the month. Those are the big transits of the month. We have some planets changing sign. Probably the most notable is Venus is going to go into Aries on February 4th. And that's notable mostly because Venus is going to go retrograde early in March. So we have about a week between Mars leaving its retrograde and Venus going retrograde. And I did a 1 minute on the Venus retrograde and what that can look like. I'll try and put a link to that in the notes so that if you're interested, you can go back and watch that. But yeah, so Venus is going to go retrograde in March, and we also have eclipse season in March. So you know, whatever, I think leaning into this calm, beautiful, supportive, loving, creative, imaginatory, dreamy kind of energy at the beginning of the month is, yeah, use that to help fill your cup, to restore yourself, because I suspect that March is going to be heated again, or be contentious again, and honestly, like the middle to the end of February, we may still be sitting in that energy. So take care of yourself. Do the work you need to do. Self-care is important, obviously, always. Yeah, make sure you have the resources you need to support yourself on this journey and support others who are experiencing this energy in whatever way they are. All right, I'm going to close it out. Happy February, and I'll talk to you soon.